welcome to Cooking with Lady Yaz. Today we're going to be making stuffed sweet potatoes with a quinoa and black bean mixture. It's a vegetarian option, but I'll mention later how we can make it either vegan or for our fun-loving meat eaters. So to start, I'm just going to go over the ingredients that we'll need to start for our recipe today. So for this next recipe, you will need a lime, 2 cloves of minced garlic. This is the spice mixture we use. There's cumin, chili powder, and smoked paprika. This is red bell pepper, onion, black beans, cooked quinoa, shredded cheese, yogurt, and I have here a jalapeno. I'm not going to use it because my kids won't eat anything too hot, but the recipe does call for jalapeno. And of course, the star of the recipe is the sweet potato. I went ahead and pre-baked sweet potatoes just to speed up this process. So I have them behind me. So this recipe calls for 6 sweet potatoes. And how I like to bake them is poke holes in them. I lightly brush them with some coconut oil and put them in the oven at 400 degrees for 45 minutes to about an hour until they're nice and soft. So I did that, they've cooled already, so that they're prepared for after we make our mixture. So the other ingredient I pre-prepped for this recipe was the quinoa. So there's about 1 cup of cooked quinoa here, and for that you'll use maybe about a 1/3 cup dry quinoa. I went ahead and did half a cup just because the packaging told me how to do 1 cup, so I did half of that ratio for this recipe. You'll have extra left over, but you can use it for another recipe if you'd like. But you will need 1 cup of cooked quinoa for this recipe. So now to start with making our stuffing for our stuffed sweet potatoes. The first step you're going to want to do is to cook the onions and the bell peppers and the jalapeno if you're using one. So all you need to do for the jalapeno is dice it up and de-seed it so that it's not too hot unless you like the heat. But again, like I said, we're not using it for my recipe today. So we'll go ahead. I have my skillet here. I'm gonna put some olive oil in there to warm that up and then saute the onions and the peppers together for about 8 minutes till they brown and they get soft. So let's get started.
Boom, 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 boom. Lady, yes. Boom, 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 boom. Cook that food, yes. Boom, 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 boom. Lady, yes. Boom, 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 boom. Cook that food, yes. Boom, boom, boom.
Now that the onions and peppers have been sauteed, it's time to add our spice mixture and the minced garlic. And then we will add in our beans and our quinoa. So first you'll see me add in the spices and the garlic. Saute those around again for about 30 seconds to a minute. And then I will add in the beans and the quinoa. Let's go.
Lady, yes. Cook that food, yes.
So now that we've finished with the mixture and fully incorporating the beans and the quinoa into our spice mix, we're going to take it off of the heat. The next step is to mix in our Greek yogurt and half of the cheese that's called for. This is a full cup of cheese. I have a Mexican mix. Kraft has a good mix that we like in this household. And then we're going to do half of that, half a cup, and then squeeze in the lime. Let's do that step.
There's a rumbling deep down in my tummy and your food fills me up. It's oh so yummy and I can't get enough.
So now that we've finished the mixture, doesn't it look so yummy? It's time to stuff the potatoes. So what we'll do first is put a slit in each potato and just stretch them out a bit. Use a fork to fluff it out, make some space for some yummy stuffing. Do about half a cup or however much you feel can fit in the potato. Put that in there, top it with some more cheese, and then it'll be ready to go back into the oven. Let's get stuffing. So we start by putting a slit in the center of the potato. You want to make room. The skin is really nice and soft, as you can see. And then just go ahead and use the fork to squish it to the side, making like a little pocket inside of the potato. Then spoon out some of our mixture. Add a little cheese on top. And it'll be ready to go into the oven for 5 minutes. Let's stuff the rest.
Cook that food, yes. Lady, yes. Cook that food, yes.
And now we're ready to put them in the oven. My oven is still heated at 400 degrees from when I pre-baked the potatoes earlier. So I'm just gonna put it back in 400 degrees for 5 minutes or until the cheese is melted on top. Let's put them in the oven.
Yay. There's a rumbling deep down in my tummy and your food fills me up. It's so, so yummy, I can't get enough.
And while we wait for the potatoes to finish, I think it's a good time for a dance party. Woo!
Might seem crazy what I'm about to say.
are quinoa and black bean stuffed sweet potatoes. I hope you guys are challenged to try this and really enjoy. So just for some other options, adding corn would be a good addition. Usually I add it in, I just forgot for today's recipe. So if you like, maybe about half a cup of corn, you can add that into the mix when you add in the quinoa and the beans. And it really gives a nice pop and extra flavor to the stuffing. Also for you vegan eaters, I know you can't use Greek yogurt or the shredded cheese, but you've got vegan options. Try a vegan queso in place of the Greek yogurt, or maybe even a guacamole if you like guacamole, and then your vegan cheddar to go on top before you bake it again in the oven. And for you meat eaters, I know some of you are like, well, where is the meat? You can do a taco seasoned ground beef or ground turkey. We like turkey in our house usually. So you can get the taco mix and follow the seasoning directions on the package and add that to this and just stuff it. Do what you like. Experiment. This is all just for fun. I can tell you though that my family really enjoyed this recipe when I made it last, so I think, I think we have a taste tester coming. No, not yet. We'll show you. We're gonna try some. How about that? So stay tuned. I will make sure that we have all the ingredients listed so that you can follow along and make it with your families as well. Okay? Bye guys. Enjoy.
Because I'm clap along.